Hey guys, BJ Dollar here. And for those of you who don't know me, I have been online for the last half a decade now successfully. I'm a second generation internet marketer, and I've actually been watching my parent do this for the last 20 years. And I've been successfully marketing on my own. And the last half a decade, you may know me from speaking on stages across the United States for collecting big checks at various locations across the United States, and for my keynote speaking on my Twitter methods, like you're about to learn here in this presentation, all over the United States, and obviously on videos like this that you may be watching on my YouTube channel, you may be watching on Facebook, you may be watching on a page giving you a training and information. I just wanted to connect with you. I wanted you to know a little bit about me in case you haven't been following me, in case you haven't gotten to know me yet. Before I tell you a little bit about what I'm doing, what I'm teaching you here, and what I'm looking to help you accomplish. Okay, so the reason I'm cutting this video is because a while back now, I really started to come into my own. Okay, I started to figure out this big question mark that a lot of people have, which is how to find targeted traffic. Because I think we can all agree that traffic is not all created equal. You can get 10,000 clicks to a web page and not make a single penny, versus you can get 100 clicks to a web page and make thousands of dollars. Have you ever wondered though, what's the difference? What creates some powerful or non-powerful conversion rates? What makes some traffic valuable and some traffic just junk? Well, the actual secret behind that is the targetedness of the traffic. If you're just sending generic biz op traffic to an offer about brushing your teeth, you're not going to be able to get any conversion out of that. Whereas on the opposite side, maybe you're sending animal lover traffic to an offer about making money online, and you're also not going to make very much money from that. You really want to put the pieces of the puzzle together and connect them so that you get a targeted visitor who's interested in the message that you're telling them or teaching them, and then they're also interested in the product or service that's either helping them get to their ultimate goal or that you're selling that's based on the message that you're telling them, right? And a lot of people get that part wrong. A lot of people get that part messed up because honestly, a lot of the teachers, a lot of the gurus out there in the internet marketing niche, they cannot teach you, they do not show you how to get targeted traffic delivered to your website, no matter what niche you're in and no matter what business you may be promoting, product or service you may be selling. I'm going to solve that for you right here, right now, and I'm going to do it by telling you a story. Okay, this is actually my story, how I broke free from you could call it the shadow of the marketer who came before me, and be able to start to come into my own in a niche and in a way that is all of my own. Okay, I stumbled into social media actually as a teenager 5.5 years ago, and I fell in love with it because I was a social animal. So I really wanted to connect and market with people and get to know them. And I was in an industry, network marketing, internet marketing, that's one of the biggest and brightest perks for a guy like me. And for a lot of you watching this is you get to develop awesome relationships that will turn into lifelong friendships. And ultimately, if you do it right, residual income for both you and the new partner or person or friend that you just connected with. So I started my journey very far from Twitter, actually. I started it on Facebook because that was the it thing. And Twitter was kind of like a different animal. No one understood it. And you're going to learn a little bit about that as I come in. Literally, that was my struggle. That was my problem, because Twitter is where I started to find my own. It started where I started to grab my groove, and where the wheel started to turn, and it started to change, and I started to understand that you could get targeted traffic no matter what you were selling. And this actually breaks the chains free for all of you watching this as well, because before I teach you this method, let me just kind of put it into perspective for you. Are you someone out there that's been following the same guru, jumping into the same deals as that guru since you started online? Are you someone who's always looked for a team that's developed a marketing system, developed traffic avenues that you can buy, and developed a system that will close all of the sales for you because you don't know how to do that yourself. Let me ask you in a different way. Do you feel chained or bound to a process or the same leader that maybe you don't even feel like is really relating to you or connecting to you or values you, but because you can't do simple things like, sorry to call them simple, but after you watch this video, you'll understand that they're simple. You can't do simple things like getting targeted traffic for what you truly want to promote or want to sell. So in order to create an income, you have to promote whatever the guru of the day or the flavor of the week is promoting this time. Whether you believe in that product or service, whether you want to promote that product or service. Some of you honestly are in niches that you don't even care about, but it's the only way that you see logically that you can succeed because you're still bound. If that's you, I'm about to break these chains for you. Maybe you're in an industry, maybe you're in the business opportunity, maybe you're selling the product or service that you truly believe in, but you just don't know how to get targeted visitors to check out what you're offering. So you're not making any money. You're not making any progress. You're not moving forward. You're not able to live a life without limits. You're bound to mediocre results. I'm about to break those chains for you here as well, because truthfully, the answer that you're searching for is targeted traffic, and I'm going to show you how to get it on Twitter. And by doing that, I'm going to first talk about how I was failing on Facebook. Okay. Now, so many people still to this day don't understand Twitter. And the funniest thing is now, so many of the people who do understand Twitter have watched this presentation. They've watched a training like this. They've learned from me or a great friend of mine that I got to meet in Las Vegas, Gary Vaynerchuk, who immediately it clicked and it just completely blew my mind that he was doing business the exact way I was doing business. And if you know Gary, you know he's the most successful internet marketer in our entire industry. Okay, but he has a very similar belief, and he has a very simple way that he just kind of takes it to the next level. So let me kind of explain to you right now how I was failing on Facebook and how Facebook failures led me to triumphs in Twitter. And here's what I mean by that. I actually started breaking free on my own and being my own independent marketer by creating Facebook fan pages and getting them to a certain amount of likes for clients who would bring me on and who would contract me out to do so. Now, as long as I stayed within the context of my internet marketing niche and my make money online niche, I knew how to get those fan pages likes. I knew how to get them targeted traffic, if you would. Even though I didn't really know the basics of targeted traffic, I just knew there was a big sea of fish out there and I was throwing my net into the water and I was pulling it in and then I was getting paid for it. But really, that wasn't really targeted marketing. And I fell flat on my face in the story that I'm about to share with you right now. Because you see, I got confident. I started to feel myself in a groove. So I started to go outside of my comfort zone, outside of my niche. And this is when I realized that if you don't do something the correct way, if the process really isn't that great, that as soon as you give yourself a challenge, you won't be able to step up to the table. You won't be able to step up to the plate. The other thing I learned that is traffic and not targeted traffic is not the answer. Just getting traffic will not solve your financial situation. Just getting traffic will not generate you the targeted leads that listen to your message and follow you and really develop that relationship with you. And even more importantly, just getting traffic to a fan page doesn't mean that they're going to get likes. Okay, and here's what I mean by that. I had been doing very, very well with getting internet marketers traffic or likes to their Facebook fan pages. But I had a homegirl who, when I officially launched as a marketing agent, a consultant, if you will, I'm a personal coach in my own free time for a lot of struggling entrepreneurs who want to learn how to generate targeted traffic and how to build their business to their goals and to their income potential. she came at me with a very unique idea. She owned a nail salon in Richmond, Virginia. Okay. So I thought to myself, cool, I've had a couple of diva girlfriends in the past. I'm even man enough to go get a pedicure. I was at the pedicure nail salon earlier this week and I got my toes done. And literally, it kind of blew my mind because she came to me and she said, hey, I see what you're doing. And I know that my shop could take to the next level if I got involved in this social media stuff with a professional. You see, she was doing social media marketing already, the network marketer style, posting on Facebook, posting on her Twitter account, connecting with anyone who came her way, which is not targeted traffic, it's just getting traffic. And she was trying to build her business that way. But she wanted expertise. She wanted someone who knew what they were doing to come along and help her build out her business. So I did. I accepted, signed on the dotted line. I was ready to go. I was like, cool, I'm going to be able to impress her, get paid, and show her that I know what I'm doing all in one false swoop, right? Well, that was what I thought was going to happen. What ended up happening was the greatest thing that ever happened for me as an independent marketer in my entire life, AKA resistance. Now, I don't call it failure necessarily. That was the wrong word to use. I honestly just used that because it started with F and so did Facebook. But really what it was I found for the first time in my marketing resistance. Have you guys ever noticed that? Have you ever maybe it's gone through with your unique marketing where you're at in your life right now? Maybe you start on a venture, you see a tiny bit of success or you see a tiny bit of excitement and you get excited, you get pumped up, you're starting to feel like this is your groove, this is where you belong, you're gung-ho, full speed ahead, and then all of a sudden you meet up with some resistance and you're left with an option, you're left with a choice. Do I fail? Do I give up? That is what failure is in my mind. It's just giving up and being done. Do I walk away? Do I feel defeated? Do I not progress forward? Or do I triumph? Do I find a new way? Do I find a way around the obstacle in my road? Do I beat back the resistance that's keeping me from accomplishing whatever I'm trying to accomplish? Now, honestly, a lot of you probably are watching this video because you're trying to do path number 2 because you're sick of path number 1. You've been at the mountaintop or you've been on your way. You can see the shore. You can see where your goal is. And then all of a sudden you meet opposition, you meet resistance, and your wheels stop moving you forward. Maybe they keep spinning, but you stop going forward, right? This is how everything changed for me. Because literally, to make a long story short, I did the same methods that I had been doing for every one of my internet marketing buddies trying to build out their fan pages. And when I exhausted all of my efforts, I only had 250 likes. Well, there's a problem because I told her I was going to get her 1,000 likes. So I had exhausted everything that I knew how to do at the time as an internet marketer, and I came up short. I was meeting resistance. I needed a new path. And everything changed when I came onto Twitter. You see, honestly, I had a plan. I had an idea. See, like I just told you a moment ago, she was big on social media already, but she was doing it in the network marketing kind of way, just connecting with anyone that came their way, learning their story, sharing her story, building some rapport, and then eventually hoping that they would do business with her. Now, let me tell you that this is not having anything necessarily to do with what ended up changing for me, but it was the dastardly little idea in my head. My wheels started to spin like, hey, she's big on Twitter. She loves Twitter. She's that type of person that is so into the things that come out of her mouth or the thoughts that are in her own head that Twitter really vibed for her. Now remember, this is what I thought the culture of Twitter was at the time. All about talk. All about push, push, push. Maybe you've learned this method before. Maybe you've learned that Twitter's all about what you post. It's all about engagement. It's all about saying the right stuff, putting it out there, and then the right followers are going to come find you. Maybe you've tried Twitter. And if you have, and you've tried that way, I bet this next statement is true as well. You failed. You met resistance. Maybe you didn't get anywhere. Maybe you got a whole bunch of likes. Maybe you got a whole bunch of Twitter followers. Maybe you tweeted a whole bunch of tweets and generated 0 leads, and even worse, made no money. Okay, this is the difference, because that was actually kind of my mindset about Twitter. That's why I found a groove on Facebook and I was working with it, right? So I thought to myself, I need to go onto her Twitter and I need to just ask some of her followers to like my Facebook fan page. She's got thousands of followers. She's a pretty in it girl in Richmond, in the Richmond area. And if you know Richmond, Virginia, it's a fairly large populated area. So I thought, this is dastardly, it's genius, it's a little bit sneaky, but it's awesome and it's going to work. And best is, it's going to save face. I'm not going to fall flat on my face. I found a way around resistance. Well, I found that I had a different problem when I went to Twitter, because I wasn't super familiar with Twitter at the time. And as you hear from the rest of this story, you're going to find out that I became very familiar with Twitter after putting in 12-hour days after 12-hour days after 12-hour days for months at a time after what I just learned and developed. Okay, so I went to her Twitter, and literally what I found was I didn't know what her Twitter handle was. I got onto my Twitter account and I realized that I didn't follow her originally, and I didn't know what her Twitter handle was. But here's what I did know. I knew that her first name and the word nails was in her nail salon, right? And I knew that that was the name of her nail salon. So I knew that that probably had to do with her Twitter handle. That probably had to do with her. I could probably type in her first name and the word nails and she would pop up. So here's what I ended up doing. I went directly to Twitter, and I'm actually going to share my screen with you and teach you this in just a second, because here's the thing that I want to relay to you before I go any further, is you're seeing my pretty face right now. You're hearing my words. You're seeing me teach you something that is mostly psychology for the moment. You're about to see the action step. This is the difference between a great teacher versus someone you should not follow. And yes, I'm going to put it that blatantly. You should not follow this type of person. Okay? And here's the difference. When I teach you something, I share my screen with you and I do it in front of you. And here's why. 1, because it proves to you that I know how to do it. 2, because that means that I'm actually doing it in my own business every single day. Because why? Because I can do it right in front of you on a live video like this, that isn't edited, that isn't cut and chopped up, that isn't walking through. As you can see, I'm not speaking from a script, because I've already said a couple of times, and I've already gone back and forth between present, reality, telling a story, adding a story within a story, talking about what's going on in my life, talking about the pedicure that I just got earlier this week. Like, there's not a script going on here. And here's why that's the person you should listen to. Because the person who is very scripted, you can tell they're robotic and they talk like they are reading a script and they are not engaging. And they never share their screen when they're teaching you an action step. Now, don't get me wrong. If they're teaching psychology like I'm teaching you right now, you can show your pretty face. But if they're teaching you something that they claim to do in their business, they should be able to show it to you with no script, no rehearsal, no trying to figure it out on their own, no failure steps, and most importantly, in front of you. Why? Because if they can't do that, odds are they're not doing it in their own business. And if they're not doing it in their own business, why would you do it in your business? Because obviously, if it was working for them, wouldn't they be doing it? Wouldn't they be able to show you it? Wouldn't they be able to do it without being all rehearsed and reading a script and trying to figure it out live on screen, because it's something that goes on in their business every single day, like I do in Twitter, like I'm about to share with you? If that's your mindset, if you're starting to understand this and you're starting to now go back into your head and relate to all the other videos you've ever watched, all the other gurus that you've ever learned from, and you're starting to put the pieces together. Now, I'm not saying that every single leader out there doesn't share their screen, doesn't teach you how to do it correctly. I'm telling you that if you look back at everything you've ever learned about internet marketing, The pieces that either aren't getting you any results, even though you're trying them, or just don't make sense to you, probably came from a leader who taught you like this, even though they're walking you through the steps that they do in their business. Okay? Now, that's not to just rag on anybody. That's not to just put it out there that you're learning from the wrong people. That's just to verify with you and open your mind and make you understand that when I share my screen with you and show you this, that it's real value. That's something I really do in my business, and it's something that really will benefit you the way it's benefited the people that I'm going to talk about that I've already taught this to and changed their lives and their businesses. Okay, so now, without any further ado, now that that's kind of stuck in your head, let me share my screen with you and show you what happens. Okay, so here we are at the Twitter homepage, and let me, before I talk about what I'm doing, I have a whole bunch of new tweets because I've been sitting here for the last few minutes, so that's going to have to reload. Okay, there it is. So before I talk about what my method is, let me tell you something. Okay, this is a test account. As you can see, I'm less than 200 tweets in. I'm less than 200 followers in. So this should give you a whole bunch of sighs of relief. This should give you a whole bunch of confidence, because this is a method that I'm about to teach you right here live that you can do with virtually a brand new Twitter account. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of I'm following a whole bunch of people just for illustrations and because I've done trainings like this for the last couple of days using this account. But literally, guys, this is something, what I'm about to teach you right here, you can do day one with a brand new Twitter account. So that should be impressive, and that should be something that makes you go, I can do this too. I don't have to be a Twitter expert like BJ to actually make this happen. Okay, so now let me explain to you the power of the Twitter search bar, because this is how it all happened. This was my aha moment. This is where the light bulb came on for me personally. You see, I came here to type in her first name and the word nails. And what I was expecting was a list of people that looked something like this that I could follow, and her being the very first result, right? Because that would be her name and the word nails. It would be her account. What I got was something very different. I'm going to show you the power of how it works right here. If I type in anything, let's say I type in I love puppies, right? If I type in I love puppies, look what happens as soon as it loads. Okay, so as you can see, you have one or two accounts that are about puppies. I love puppies daily. There's an actual account there. But what you don't understand, what you didn't realize, is that after that comes an entire list of people who have tweeted the word or phrase, I love puppies. Or, since I didn't put parentheses around it, we're going to get that as far as it goes contextually, as long as there's a word or phrase, a sentence that they've made that has the word I love and puppies in it. Because this girl said, I just love little puppies. I want to squeeze them all, right? This literally shattered my reality. It blew my mind, because what happened was I typed in her first name and I typed in the word nails, and she showed up right here. So I clicked follow real quick. But what happened was I got a list of people who were tweeting about going to her nail salon to get their nails done. Now check this out. This is even more powerful. All you have to do is click reply, and I didn't have to follow Paige. I didn't have to wait for her to accept my friend request. I didn't have to wait for her to approve my follow request. I didn't have to jump over a mountain, climb over a rock, swim through a lava lake, and fight a dragon to be able to talk to her. I can click the tweet button. I know you like that analogy. I can click the tweet button and literally click the reply button, sorry. You can click the reply button right here and literally get to tweet to Paige whatever you want. So literally, I know the wheels of change are starting to spin in your head. A lot of you guys are getting aha moments. Light bulbs are popping on all over the world, because all over the world people watch my videos. This is literally a breakthrough for you. It was a breakthrough for me too, because literally I was able to go click reply to people who are tweeting about getting their nails done at her salon and say, hey, if you like this Facebook fan page, I'll give you 10% off the next time you go get a mani-pedi, or whatever offer it was at the time, 15% off getting their nails done, things like that, whatever offer fit the person and what their needs were. And what ended up happening, to take a long story and make it extremely short, extremely fast, was I took her Facebook fan page from 250 likes to 3,500 likes in the span of the next 2 weeks. And everything I ever thought I knew about marketing changed forever. Now I'm going to share my pretty face with you again, because I want to talk to you for just a second about what's going on. Okay. What you've just learned, and you should see me now. Okay. What you've just learned is the difference between getting traffic and getting targeted traffic. And here's the lesson in case you actually missed it. I went in and I was posting in Facebook groups. I went in and I was marketing to my Facebook friends who are internet marketers and who aren't really targeted. And I was getting her some likes, right? It was basics. It was the basics. I was getting traffic. But getting traffic is not the same as getting targeted traffic. Odds are the people who were on her Facebook fan page before I stumbled onto my Twitter method were never going to walk foot into her nail salon. They were probably all over the world. They were probably not interested in getting mani-pedis or getting facials or getting their eyebrows waxed or getting any other of the services that she offered. They were probably not targeted to the Richmond, Virginia area. They were probably in Spain, or I have a big following in the UK, or on the West Coast because I do a lot of business with California and Hawaii, or maybe they're in Florida because they were my personal friends. Like, they weren't targeted to the Richmond area. Therefore, everything I did got traffic. It got results, if you will. It showed some likes on the page, but it didn't convert into cash, right? Targeted traffic converts into cash. That's the basics. That's the bottom line of what I'm teaching, because everything changed when I stumbled upon Twitter. Why? Because these people were talking about getting their nails done there. They were talking about either their experience there, or it's a new nail salon, should they try it, or they can't wait, they chipped a nail, they need to go to her nail salon. And all of a sudden, I was building retention, because I was pulling them to a fan page that she controlled, that she could talk to them and tell them a story, offer them a discount on her nail salon, tell them about the specials that were going on that week, that month, that year, whatever it was. And it meant they were targeted because they were already tweeting about having the problem that her product or service solved. They were already tweeting about needing a mani, needing a pedi, needing their eyebrows and their nails done. And all I had to do was say, hey, since you're already talking about it, like this fan page, and we're going to give you a discount on the next time you come in. We were building repeat business for her. Retention rate. Targeted traffic became sales, more sales, and continuous sales, right? But it also gave her a relationship, or a potential to build a relationship with the people she should be trying to build a relationship with. Imagine the analogy that I use for this. It's called the fishing analogy. Now, I'm not talking about some big charter boat. I'm not talking about a little pontoon boat that you might take out. I'm not talking about even a modern day today's fisherman boat that's 20 plus feet long and can fit 20 people on it, and you can fish off of the side of it. When I use this analogy, I want you to go back to Jesus's time. Okay? I want you to imagine that we're sitting in this little 6x6 boat, that if I took a step from the left side of the boat to the right, I would be on the right side of the boat. That if I rocked a little bit, you could feel it on the other side. That if I really pushed hard, I could probably tip the boat over, right? Imagine one of those boats. Now imagine fishing, but we're going to use a little bit of modern day technology. On one side of the boat, you have a huge cast net, able to pull in 1,000 pounds of fish. On the other side of the boat, you have a rod and reel, and you have frozen shrimp. Now, why is that important? Well, you're about to learn. Getting traffic is like using that net. If I threw the net into the water and I pulled it in and I did that 4 or 5 times, I would have a plethora of fish. I might have some tarpon since I live in Florida. I might have some, let's see, I'm not really that big on different types of fish. I guess I should be if I'm going to use a fishing analogy. But I could have some tarpon. I could have some grouper. I might have some catfish. I might have a shark or two. I might have even a manatee. I live in Florida. Manatees are here a lot. So don't judge me for that. Or, right, that's just getting traffic. Or I could come over to the other side of the boat, throw the frozen shrimp in the water, and start pulling in tarpon after tarpon after tarpon because it's their favorite type of food. Now, quick disclaimer: I'm not 100% sure what tarpon favorite kind of food is. I'm also not sure what kind of fish loves frozen shrimp like that. I'm just using it for the sake of the analogy. Okay. Literally, here's the thing, guys. If you went to the meat market and they paid you for every single tarpon you brought in, would that net help you? Would that 1,000 pounds of fish really make you money? Because what you might find is you might have 100 fish every time you pull in the net. 70, that'd be way too targeted. 10 of them might be tarpon. 10 of them might be grouper. I don't know 10 or 8 other kinds of fish, so go with me here. 20 of them might be Malibu. 30 of them might be sharks. 15 of them might be manatees. And then you might even have some crabs or some weird other things that you would find in the bottom of the ocean or out at sea in your net. Why? Because you're not targeted in the way that you're doing your catching. Okay, you're just catching whatever's in the path of your net when you pull it in. Versus if you went to the other side of the boat and you took the frozen shrimp, which tarpon attack like crazy in this analogy, and you threw it into the water, tarpon are going to be the most likely thing that you catch. Why? Because you put their favorite food, aka the targeted message that works best to catch them, onto your marketing effort, aka the way you fish, and you threw it into the water to find your target audience, aka tarpon. And all of a sudden, if you fished for an hour, you could probably pull in 100 tarpon, right? I'm not a great fisherman. I'd probably only pull in like 10 tarpon. But in this analogy, as far as network marketing and online marketing goes, you could pull in oodles and oodles. I myself on Twitter, this is when everything started to change. I myself started to go, whoa, I just mastered something in a niche that I know very little about. Like I said earlier, I'm kind of a diva. Every once in a while, I'll go with my family or my aunts or my mama and go get a pedicure, right? Aside from having some diva girlfriends in the past, I know nothing about nail salons. I know nothing about that niche, right? So for me to try to develop a targeted marketing strategy for something in a niche that I knew nothing about and to be able to accomplish that blew my mind because it made me say, wait till I apply this to an industry and a niche that I do know something about. Right? So now all of you are starting to have that same urge. You're starting to have that same mentality. You're starting to break free from some of the chains because honestly, some of you are meant to be in the health and wellness niche, but you're promoting an information-based product. Some of you are meant to make money online products, but you're stuck selling skincare products. Why? Because up until this exact moment in time, you were stuck using the tools that could create cash for you because you didn't know how to go out and target your market and put in front of them the offer that you are passionate about so that they could buy it. But I just set you free from that. You see, there was one problem though. I started to do that. I started to type in things like, I want to make money online. I want to get paid for internet marketing. I want to be an internet marketer. And here's what happened. All of those gurus at the time, which there were a lot of them because Twitter obviously blew up about 5 years ago. All of them were teaching that Twitter was about push. It was about putting your content out there instead of listening. instead of being able to target the people who are talking about having a problem that your product or service solves. So everything that I typed in fact, I'm going to show you this right now. If I type in, and I hope I left my Twitter. Okay, good. I did. You should be able to see my Twitter account right now. If I type in, I want to make money online, what's going to happen is a list full of people, and once again, this should go back to show you guys that this is coming from someone who does what he says and what he teaches. Why? Because I can physically show you without any problem right here exactly what I'm about to talk to you about. What ended up happening was, if you think about it, this would be a huge target, right? Anyone who wants to make money online, you could drop your product or service in front of them. You could develop a relationship with them. You could teach them a little bit of information and then offer them a product because it's what they're interested in, and they would buy it. Your conversion rates would go through the roof. This is targeted marketing for our niche, the make money online niche. But look what's happened. Because the culture on Twitter is so much push, push, push instead of listen, the only people who tweet, I want to make money online, are people who are trying to sell you something or who are trying to tell their story. Look, this person wants to make more money online. They're talking about, hey, if you want to make more money, here's what you do. This person says, here's easy ways to make money online. This person says, hi, I want to make money online, but my Outpost and Harris polls don't work for me. How to make money by entering sweepstakes. If you notice, this isn't the right style of marketing. If you notice, every single person on that list, and I'm going to share my pretty face with you again, every single person on that list is talking about their product, talking about their solution to the problem. But yet they overwhelm Twitter so much that you can't find people tweeting about the problem, right? So there's obviously a couple of ways around that, right? And then here's the second problem. There were two problems that I had with this original because I found a way around it. I'm going to teach you a little bit about that right now. It's all about the psychology. You have to go back to the needs. If you're selling a make money online kind of product, then you need to go to their actual mental needs. Why do people start an online business? They may hate their job. They may want an additional stream of income. They may need to make more money. All of those can become Twitter keywords. It may take a little bit of a story to get them to understand that, hey, internet marketing will solve the problem that I'm tweeting or talking about having, but there's a solution to that, and I'm actually going to teach you about it a little bit here at the end. We're about to wrap up, actually. Literally, here's the problem. I figured that out, and it took me 12 hours a day for months, right, trying to figure this all out. And here's why it took so long. Because I literally realized that I was alone with this method. I stumbled upon the greatest tool for generating targeted leads that ever happened in social media, still to the day, but I was the only one who realized it. You see, I'm not going to lie. There are levels to internet marketing. And because of the level my entrepreneur parent was at, I was able to kind of skip a lot of the learning curves by being able to talk to all of these gurus that you guys look up to and buy the $1,000 and $3,000 and $5,000 products up and never actually get the time of day from, even though you spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on their courses. I call them friends. I call them by their first name. When I email them or text them, they answer me because of who my extended parent was and eventually now who I am as a marketer. So I came to my parent, who is not a social media marketer at all, and I said, hey, can you put me on to the leading experts in Twitter marketing right now, because I found something that I know is going to be huge. I just need to be steered in the right direction on how to do it. So I got to. There were actually almost four, I'll call them four because one put out a little course, three put out major courses. I'm talking $997 or higher. There were four go-to people that she recommended at the time. To make a long story short, three of them did not even reply to me. I messaged them all the same thing, stroking each one of their egos individually before I asked. But I asked them, hey, I just stumbled upon this process. For all intents and purposes, it's generated me over 3,000 likes in 2 weeks. And I think it's going to be huge, but I'm having this problem as far as it comes to conversions, because here was my problem. I would find that Twitter keyword list and I would tweet to them, but I couldn't get them to buy anything. I couldn't get them to become a new team member in my network marketing organization, or to buy any of my products. I was lost. I was honestly feeling the resistance harder than I had ever felt it before, because I had just tasted success on my own, real success. I had just had excitement. I had the bug. I was ready to run. And yet, as soon as I started to run and hit the gas hard, I realized that my wheels were spinning, but I was going nowhere. Can any of you relate to that? Is that where you are right now with some of your marketing? Are you so excited, but yet when you hit full speed, full throttle on the gas pedal, you're just spinning your wheels and not getting anywhere? Do you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that one, you deserve success, and number two, you are so close to getting what you want, to getting and reaching that income desire, to getting and living the life without limits that you truly deserve? But yet you just feel like every time you make an effort to make it happen, you just go nowhere? That's exactly how I was feeling. So I took an extra effort, and I went and I messaged these people who were making tens of thousands, some of them even a couple of $100,000, selling a professional Twitter course. They gotta know what they're talking about, right? Wrong. Because 3 of them didn't even give me the time of day. And I now know why. It's not because they're rude people. It's not because they're bad people. It's not because they truly just want to scam people. It's because they didn't know what they were doing, and they were taking advantage of what was hot in the industry and selling a course on it that was just all refurbished bull crap that no one really knew how to do targeted marketing on. And then they were making lots of money from it. One of them stepped up, or should I say lied to my face. Right? He was a good friend, still is, great friend of mine. He apologized. We're not beefing, anything like that. But literally, I sent him a message. I said, hey, you're the king of conversions. I really appreciate you in our industry and everything that you teach. But I see you have a Twitter course out, and I'm really excited because I bought it, right? Now, if you know anything, that means a lot, because in my industry and the level that I come from, a lot of marketers, especially when we do JV deals with each other, we'll just give our product to each other. We'll let them go through it and review it, because they're going to bring us a lot more business than them buying that $197, $1,000, even $5,000 course is going to affect our pocket with, right? So I actually bought the course just so I could tell the story, and so I could tell my list of people following me, hey, I bought it, I applied it, it works for me, you buy it. Right? So that I could stand on credibility. I literally told him, hey, I went through your course. It's rocked my brain. I've been doing a lot of Twitter marketing. Here's what I found. Can you tell me a little bit more about it? Well, because of the relationship he has with my parent, and because of the relationship we have, he replied back. He said, awesome, bro. Appreciate the love. Yeah, we'll do a JV deal together. That's awesome, bro. I love to see that you're using Twitter. That's a great strategy. Go with it. I thought, boom, it happened. I'm excited. I can now pick his brain. The king of conversions knows what I'm talking about, and he's going to teach me how to really, really, really take my business to the next level with targeted marketing. So I asked him, I said, hey, bro, that's awesome. I'll set up the JV deal with you. But here's what's going on. I have a problem with this. I'm getting to the point where I'm finding what I feel like is my targeted audience, but they're just not converting. I know you're the king of conversions. So if anyone could teach me how to take this from a tweet to cash, it would be you. Can you show me how? Days went by. A couple of weeks went by. Nothing. I was starting to feel a little bit. So I sent him another message. Hey, didn't know if you got my last one. Yeah, we'll do a JV. I'm really excited. Thanks for that. Can you explain, can you shed a little bit of light on how I can just change what I'm doing and tweak it to get it converting? And he came back kind of with egg on his face. And he said, hey, that's great. Let's do a JV. But hey, I have to be honest with you. I lied. Rather, I didn't really look over exactly what you're talking about, and I went back and I had a look-see at what you were talking about, and I got to tell you the truth is I don't do Twitter that way. I honestly didn't even know that Twitter had that kind of capability and that you could do something like this. So sorry to say, buddy, I think you're onto something great, but right now you're on your own. I can't teach you anything. So just like that, when I thought I was taking off, when I thought the gas pedal was working, I found that my wheels were spinning again. I found that I was met with resistance again, and that I had to do something. I had to change what was going on. So I spent 12 hours a day from my bed, in my room, rarely getting up to do anything but tend to the horses, eat, spend some time with my family, and then go back to work. And what I found was a process that converted those tweets into leads and eventually sales. You see, there was a missing element. And actually, it's the one reason why I still do videos to this day. The missing element really was the ability to tell the proper story to that Twitter keyword list, right? And the easiest way, I'm not telling you it's the only way, but the easiest way to tell a proper story is by taking exactly what you want to say, sitting down in a chair or laying down in your bed. And if you go to my YouTube channel, you will see me laying down in my bed, so you know I do it. And just talking. If you're selling a product about purified water and you go on and you type in, I need new drinking water, or my water is so acidic, it's disgusting, or what's the best purified water, that's the right market for you. If you're selling purified water, the only missing component right there in this process is telling the proper story to make that person choose your purified water over the next purified water. Okay, so that can be done with a simple video like you're watching right now. Now, guys, that is in a nutshell what I call my tweet driver method. That 3-step component is literally my tweet driver method in a nutshell. Guys, let me shock your mind for a minute. Let me blow you away, because I've been talking to you now, I believe, 45 minutes, maybe even less than that. Hopefully it's around 30 minutes, but I believe I'm probably at the 45 minute mark. And here's what I've learned. Here's what I've understood is I put out a course, and literally my Twitter knowledge is 3 hours worth of straight content like this. Content where sometimes you'll see my pretty face. Sometimes I'll actually dive into my Twitter account and teach you exactly how to do whatever it is that I'm talking to you about. There's some core components to this, okay? There's 3 actual core components to what I teach on Twitter. Part 1, I explain why everything you've ever been told about Twitter is flat out wrong, but don't worry, don't worry. I then teach you how to do the correct marketing style of Twitter so you can start getting targeted traffic and you can start getting tons and tons and tons of traffic. Because here's the truth. The truth is, if you go fishing, why not fish on both sides of the boat? Why not get lots and lots and lots of traffic that may have a tiny bit of interest in what you're talking about, and go find your exact target audience that is going to relate to you so well that if you told them a story about how you would fly if you walked off the front of this cliff and you walked off first, aka you shared their screen with them and showed them that it worked, that they would walk behind you and walk off the cliff blindly with you. That's the type of target audience I try to create and that I teach you guys how to create. Literally, 100% honest. That's how targeted you can get when you learn targeted marketing methods like what I just taught you. But the truth is, why not market on both sides of the boat, right? So I teach you how to use 2 different versions of Twitter, one of which is actually ego-driven. I have to be honest, because I got an email one day, because I was just teaching about my tweet driver method. And I got an email one day from someone who was a great friend of mine. She didn't even come with haste or with hard feelings, but she said, BJ, how can I learn anything about Twitter from you? I said, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I agree that your tweet driver method sounds off the chain and that it's great for targeted marketing, but there's nothing you could really teach me about Twitter because I have 20,000 followers and you only have 4,000 followers. And I thought for a second, I shook my head, I scratched for a minute, and I started to laugh. We were conversing back and forth, and she was asking me why I was laughing. And I said, well, I'm not gonna knock 20,000 followers. I'm not gonna knock anything about that because you learned Twitter the incorrect way. You learned that if you don't have 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, a million followers on Twitter, that you must not be valuable on Twitter. But let me ask you the most important question. Of those 20,000 followers on Twitter, how many of them became leads for you? And of those leads, here's the even more important question. Of those 20,000 people on your Twitter following you, how many of those bought a product, joined a business opportunity, or created and became a sale for you in any sort of way? And she got silent. And I replied back to her. I said, well, with my Twitter marketing methods, I could catch up to you if I wanted to, as far as followers go. Wouldn't be hard. But even more importantly than that, I focus on what's important, and I generate 15 plus free leads an hour on Twitter, and I can sell any product or service out there because I know how to go find its target audience and put my message in front of them in a copy and paste simple formula. Now, it took me a little while. It took me a long time. It took a huge learning curve. Even the tweet driver method that you learned right now is incomplete because if you went out and you went ham, which just means you sent a whole bunch of tweets at once, you would get suspended, right? There's an actual limit of how many tweets you can send like that per day, and it's based on Twitter's algorithm system and how it applies to you as an independent Twitter user, right? All of those things I learned from hours and hours and hours of trying and meeting resistance on Twitter. Literally, I've been suspended 25 times for 22 different reasons on Twitter, and I've learned how to properly avoid every single way. The only things I didn't get suspended for are things like posting inappropriate pictures or terrible things like that. Like I've been suspended for ethical reasons 25 times. For 22 different ethical reasons. And literally, I've had to learn the come up, right? I've had to build over the learning curve. This is a hump that literally took me hours and hours of my life dedicating my time. And what it's done is created success for everyone that I taught it to, including myself. Literally, guys, what I'm about to invite for you is for you to be the next success story in my case, right? I have a product that's called the Twitter Intensive. Like I just told you a moment ago, it's actually 3-hour-long sessions where I break down stuff like this. The very first session is exactly what I said. I'm going to explain to you everything you've ever been taught about Twitter, why it's wrong, and how you can actually do real ways of using Twitter to get a cash flow created and a huge targeted audience put right in front of your face that you can copy and paste a reply to and take you to the next level. The second thing that I'm going to do, the part 2, is actually going in depth on my tweet driver method, how to unleash an avalanche of unlimited targeted leads at zero cost. Literally, everything that I teach in my Twitter Intensive course is all about free lead generation. That's why if you watch this on my YouTube channel, this video is entitled Twitter, the Free Lead Generation Powerhouse. Guys, this is exactly what Twitter was made for. Twitter.com/search is the most powerful website for finding targeted leads in all of the internet for free lead generation. Okay, just so we clear that up. And then the third part is how to use your culture account. See, like I said, I teach 2 different ways, and actually this whole entire third module was based off of that email back and forth with that great friend of mine that I talked to, because I took that as a challenge. I said to myself, BJ, there's some truth in that. You can't consider yourself a Twitter expert. Well, you can because it's benefiting for you, but the average person might look at you and go, huh, I almost have as many followers as he does, or oh, I have more followers than he does. He can't teach me anything. So literally, I developed a strategy that literally will take you from a brand new Twitter account, 0 followers today, and will get you to 20,000 followers in less than 6 weeks. And it teaches a process to turn those followers into your frontline affiliates using a subconscious mind twerk that I actually installed into Twitter half a decade ago that has grown into a phenomenon that literally, when done correctly, every single time you post a tweet, and by the way, in the 3rd part module, I actually show you how this works out in real live terms so you see it, will become a literal million eyes to see your offer every single time you send out a tweet. Now, that I did because I thought about it. If I'm going to fish off of both sides of the boat, I want my net to be as big as possible. I want to pull in thousands upon thousands of pounds of fish if I'm not going to do super targeted marketing 24/7. So I am teaching you a process in module 3, in part 3, how to get 20,000 followers in less than 6 weeks, which, by the way, my best student did this for 24 hours. 24 hours, every 3 hours, they followed this exact step that I teach. And in one day, they gained 4,000 new followers. Guys, it blew all of the results that I talked about out of the water. I really should revamp the module 3's results and tell you that it really could be as many as 120,000 followers a month, 4,000 followers a day. But I'm just going to leave it at 20,000 followers in 6 weeks, because no matter who teaches Twitter, no one teaches you how to get to 20,000 followers in less than 6 weeks. And for sure, they don't teach you how to take those followers and actually turn them into affiliates for you. So those are the 3 modules. Literally, guys, the other things that you're going to learn is how my training helped one of my students have his very first $1,000 day online from free marketing via Twitter. And what's actually hilarious is he did this in his first 15 tweets. He only sent out 15 tweets and he made $1,000. Can you send out 15 tweets? I believe you can. Can you copy and paste 15 times? I bet you can. Would you do it if it made you $1,000? I bet you do it every day, right? I'm going to show you how I literally helped one of my students get more leads in 5 days than his previous 3 months online combined, right? I'm going to show you how one of my students gets 100% click-through rate on my tweet driver method, and how sending them to his opt-in page still opts in at a 30% opt-in rate from free Twitter traffic. Literally, that means every single person he tweets to clicks on the link, and of every single person he tweets to, 30% of them give them his name and email address. I'm going to show you how I helped one of my students send out 23 tweets, get 11 opt-ins, 4 $25 sales, and how one of them upgraded to $100 per month, and how he made a $200 instant income that was residual monthly income from sending out 23 tweets. I'm also going to show you how I helped one of my students, the story that I told you a little bit earlier about, get 4,000 followers on Twitter in a single day, and how several others are getting hundreds of followers per day, right? And then finally, you're going to see in depth in that module 2 how I tweet and tweet and tweet and build and build and build and use my tweet driver method to get 15 opt-ins an hour on my personal marketing efforts. Because let's be honest, we need both. You need to see that it works for me, but just because it works for me, some of your fear and some of your doubt mindset kicks in and goes, oh, well, BJ's the Twitter expert. It's not going to work for me just because it works for them. So this literal training that you're getting is not only my personal results, but what it's done for the students who I took on and who I taught these methods to, and how it's forever changed their business. And the last thing that it did was it actually put a process out there that doubles the size of your network marketing team, no matter how big it is. And yes, I took a case study with 11,000 people, a personal team. One of my buddies, one of the online powerhouses in this industry, he's made over $68 million. He brought me on as his keynote speaker at his farms event in Atlanta, Georgia, and he's brought me on as a keynote speaker in several of his to his whole entire team trainings that he does every week to come teach Twitter. And literally when his team grabbed onto this concept, they were able to go out and double in size every single month, no matter how large it got, because of the free Twitter methods, right? So everything that you're about to learn, honestly, I get paid thousands of dollars for it. Because before I created this Twitter intensive product, I literally only did one-on-one personal coaching. You heard me say in the beginning of this video, I'm a successful internet marketer, but I'm a personal coach in my free time. I get paid $1,000 an hour to teach marketing concepts like this in depth as it pertains to the client that's paying me. But because you're not getting me one-on-one, because we're not sitting down face-to-face and I'm not going, okay, buddy, what's your specific target audience? What's your specific business opportunity? What are you specifically trying to build? I'm not going to make you pay $1,000 for this course. I'm not going to make you pay $750. I'm not going to make you pay $500. I really should make you pay $375. And eventually, I probably will up this to $375. But the truth is, I'm not even going to make you pay $375 or $300. You're going to get access to my Twitter intensive, all 3 modules, plus I've added 2 bonus modules already, and I'm working on the 3rd and final bonus module. The 2 bonus modules are how to combine Twitter and blog posts to get your blog seen by your target audience and to get all of your blogs ranking on Google fast due to social media interaction. And my second mind-blowing bonus is how to combine CPA marketing plus Twitter lead generation to make $1,000 a day from free lead generation and CPA marketing. And if you know anything about CPA marketing, it's something that you don't have to pay for to do. So this is mind-blowing. You can literally start with nothing in your pocket, and because Twitter is free lead generation, spend nothing on advertising, and I systematically show you how to make $1,000 a day using CPA marketing plus Twitter free lead generation, right? And the 3rd bonus module is going to be a surprise that's not released and it's not talked about to anyone other than the people who have bought in my Twitter intensive and who are then in my Twitter intensive Facebook group, which is private for the people who only buy. You actually can't find the Twitter intensive link anywhere other than on the end of bonus module number 2 when or maybe it's on number 1. It actually is probably on all 3 modules, but I talk about it in bonus module number 2 of my Twitter intensive course, where you can actually then request to join the group. And I have all sorts of little short trainings and goodies in there, and a community of people who are using my Twitter methods who will help you steer you in the right direction so that you understand that you're not in this alone. Now, all of that, I'm not selling for $1,000, $700, even $500 or $300. You can get your hands on the Twitter intensive right now by clicking the link below, and it's only going to cost you $197. And literally, guys, I know a lot of you have already clicked the link. I know a lot of you are so pumped and so excited. I know a lot of your minds are blown because you were waiting for that $1,000 price tag. You were at least waiting for that $497 price tag, and now I've over-delivered and given it to you for simply $197. And all now. So I encourage you to do that. And if you want to stick around, if you want to check out some things, watch some testimonials on the video or on the page below. And actually, if you want to click the more information tab and you want to click the tab that's underneath the buy button, you're actually going to be taken to a presentation where I do a full-on live training with 2 of my favorite people in the world, Kimberly Tilley and Lisa Grossman. And amongst them come in a lot of great friends of mine who all have been positively affected by my Twitter intensive. And actually, you hear all of their testimonies and what they've done in Twitter marketing and what they've been able to accomplish through Twitter marketing live on that presentation, as well as you get a free training out of it, courtesy of me and my awesome, amazing friends in the industry. So if you want to check out the free training first, go ahead and do that. But I encourage you right now to click the link below and grab your method, grab your Twitter intensive and grab your copy before it goes up to $375, or before we decide to bundle it into a social media mastery course, never sell it separately again, and sell it for $14.97. Because truthfully, I teach symphony marketing, which is how to take all of your social media platforms and marketing methods and then combine them to get the most results out of your marketing strategy. And honestly, I've been gearing towards and pushing towards more becoming a social media master than just teaching how to generate tons and tons of targeted leads via Twitter. So take action and get on this right now before something changes and you miss out on your opportunity. I'm BJ Dalla. Thank you for watching this training. I appreciate you. I hope that I just broke the chains of whatever's been binding you to where you are versus where you want to be off of you right now, and giving you a chance to really take your business, to take your mindset, and to take your marketing to the next level. I know without a shadow of a doubt in my mind that everything will change for you when you click the link below, watch the Twitter intensive, and actually take action. So if you're willing to do those 3 steps, I'm going to see you in the Twitter intensive group. I'm going to see you on the Twitter intensive modules. And as always, I'll see you at the bank. Click the link below. Get my Twitter intensive for $197 now. Take care.